And I asked them all on the Democrat side, I asked them all the same question, purposefully. And I asked this to RFK too. When does the left go too far? Because obviously the left can go too far. And none of them would answer. And so,
really?
Not one. Dead serious.
In private?
In private as well.
Come on.
No, I'm telling you the truth. And
I know some people who would answer that.
Well, look, it's also, I stopped doing a fair bit of that about a year and a half ago. And things have changed. There are more people on the moderate Democrat side who are willing to draw a line with regard to the radical leftists, but they're still not very good at defining it. So they'd reverse the question and ask me, like, when do you think they go too far? And I thought that was simple. It's like equality of outcome. And the universal response to that was always the same. Oh, they don't really mean that.
Well, Bill Maher and Jordan Peterson got into a heated argument, but Peterson prevailed because Maher offered one of his most candid analyses of current social issues to date. As Maher grew increasingly agitated, Peterson maintained his composure, strength, and razor sharpness while refuting the mayor's emotionally charged charges with reason and facts. Peterson remained composed and made sharp rebuttals that broke through the clamor, despite his evident irritation. His signature precision and directness turned the argument into a masterful demonstration of logical clarity. Maher missed a strong hit, but Peterson remained calm and didn't allow his emotions get the better of him. This showdown should be watched by anyone who values intelligent brains managing chaos in a composed way. Jordan Peterson's strong opposition to questionable assertions shows that he is more than just a commentator.
Equality of outcome, I believe in that too. Equity is what they changed it to, a lot of people on the far left, and Biden went along with all of it. Means no, some people started out not from the same place, so we should make an effort to redress that. I believe in some of that theoretically, and some of it in how you would put it into practice. You can't just say, okay, let's, some people weren't even at the starting gate for the first 350 years, and now go. Of course, there's going to be remedial, I think, things that we can do, and we're doing many of them. We're doing some of them anyway. But do I think it means we should, make it that medical school is not something that you can only get into completely by merit? No, because no one wants a doctor who got there by affirmative action.
Yes.
Right, but you would count what I said to be valid, right? That you can't say if you started 300 years late, we expect you to be.
I guess this is one of the things that probably tilts me in the more conservative direction, and partly as a social scientist, is that well-meaning interventions seldom have the
It's clear right away that Bill Maher is caught off guard by Jordan Peterson's sharp and perceptive arguments. With every answer, he forces Maher to back up his assertions. Peterson is well ahead in momentum, but it is still unclear if Maher will be able to bounce back and change the course. Even though Maher tries to stay awake, it's clear that he's falling behind in this initial round as Peterson, a renowned psychologist, author, and cultural analyst, adds his customary energy and clarity to the discussion.
Distribution of, say, even of opportunity is that everyone is treated the same under the law, regardless of anything, regardless of wealth, regardless of race,
right,
age, status. It's the same. Now, obviously, there's elements of that appear unjust. So if you make $1 million a year and you get $1,000 fine for speeding, that's a lot different than $1,000 fine for someone who makes $12,000 a year. And so then you might say, well, maybe your fine should be income adjusted. Okay, but the problem with that is okay, you're differentially privileged with regards to your wealth. Well, how many dimensions of differential privilege are there? And the answer to that is, well, there's as many dimensions as there are differences between people. And that's an infinite number of differential advantages and disadvantages. And so I'll give you an example that I think is quite germane. So there's obviously disparity in wealth. Well, one of the best predictors of wealth is age. Older people are richer. Well, why? Well, obviously, because they've had
Well-
their whole life to work.
Race.
So, yeah.
Even more.
Okay, but let me make the case with this for a minute. Okay, so then you might say, well, it's very unfair that the old people have the money. It's like, yeah, fair enough, buddy. But the young people have the youth. And if I'm
That's
serious,
so
and if
true.
you took the old
Right.
person and said, look, you give me all your money.
Right.
I'm 18. You give me all
Right.
your money, and I'll be 65, and you get to be 18 and broke.
What would you actually take that bargain? Because I wouldn't. Even though I'm punching 70 in the mouth, I still wouldn't do it because my head would still be my 18-year-old head, and I just couldn't take any more of that. Your stupidity, or at least my stupidity at that age, caused so much.
Given the vast range of benefits and drawbacks, I'll offer you an example that I think is accurate. Age is therefore one of the finest measures of wealth. Given that they have worked their entire lives, older individuals are undoubtedly wealthy. But why? If you were to seize an elderly person and tell them, look, you give me all your money, I'm 18, they would undoubtedly have a lot more money because they had worked all their lives. If you give me all of your money, I'll be 65 and you'll be broke and 18. Would you really accept that offer? Even if I were punching 70 in the mouth, I wouldn't because I couldn't stand it much longer. I would still have an 18-year-old's head. As the conversation heats up, it's clear that Bill Maher is starting to feel the consequences of Jordan Peterson's relentless questioning. Strong views are nothing new to either side, but Peterson's meticulous attention to detail and provocative questions make it difficult for Maher to steer the conversation. It's obvious that Peterson wins this fierce back and forth.
I don't make stupid mistakes. I don't make that. I mean, I'm sure people would say, oh, Bill, you said this the other week, and I meant it, and it wasn't horrible.
Well, frequency and intensity also matter.
Also, I'm mixing dangerous chemicals every week, okay? I'm playing third base okay? I'm going to get more hard-hit grounders. And, but just not just, but personally, much more, even my personal life. I mean, men take a very long time to mature. I mean, when a woman says like, boy, you know, you need a 40-year head start. Yeah, you do. You need like a 40-year head start to be on the same level. It's just, it's crazy how immature, as society would define immature, you can be, or I was, late into life, because the immature things are the fun ones. I still don't want to give them up. You know, people are different. We talked about this the last time you were here. You know, we could not be more different in that way. I mean, you're so much more a woman's dream, and I'm like a woman's nightmare in many ways. Like, never committed, never got married, never wanted to. I never understood how people could, and I see so many people who talk about it like married couples, and they talk very finely about like, oh, remember when we were in love, and they're reminiscing.
Even though he is not a fool, Bill Maher tells the audience at one point that he might as well be the student sitting next to Jordan Peterson. Peterson's meticulous, calm manner demonstrates his genius. Since Peterson's insightful analysis refutes many of Maher's unsubstantiated claims, his comments tell a great deal. Was this a takedown or a debate, in your opinion? One Direction is the sole source of contention in what began as a competition between two bright individuals and has since shifted to one side. In the space provided below for comments, do let us know how we may make our next movie better. Please click the like button and subscribe for more straight talk analysis if you like this conversation. I appreciate you watching.